It's time for another book notification at the movies, where we look at the movies you may or may not know were based on books. Today we're looking at the films of 1984. You can't start 1984 without 1984 by George Orwell, the adaptation that many people found timely even then. Barry Levinson's baseball classic The Natural was based on a novel by Bernard Malamud. The film ends on a much happier note than the book. One of the best movies of 1984 is Flashpoint, starring Chris Christopherson and Treat Williams. It was based on a novel by George LaFontaine. Conan the Destroyer is the second Conan film based on Robert E. Howard's character, but it is not based on any particular story. 1947's Out of the Past is considered one of the greatest films of all time. It was based on Daniel Mainwaring's novel Build My Gallows High. Against All Odds is the 1984 remake. It is not nearly the same quality, but it does feature the amazing Phil Collins song. The Little Drummer Girl was an adaptation of a novel by John le Carré, who is no stranger to adaptations. One of the more infamous movies of 1984 is Dune, the adaptation of Frank Herbert's sci-fi epic directed by David Lynch. It would take almost 40 years for them to get this one right. Francis Ford Coppola's The Cotton Club is nearly as famous for its behind-the-scenes drama as what happened on screen. The film was based on a book by James Haskin. A Passage to India was a critic's favorite in 1984 with 11 Academy Award nominations. It is based on a novel by E.M. Forster. Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan has been adapted many times, including 1984's Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan. Interestingly, the name Tarzan is never spoken in the film. The Hotel New Hampshire by John Irving was adapted into a film starring Jodie Foster, Beau Bridges, and Rob Lowe. Like if you remember this one, the children's spy adventure Cloak and Dagger was based on a short story by Cornell Woolrich. Stephen King adaptations dominated the 80s in many ways, and 1984 was no exception, starting with the Drew Barrymore starring Firestarter, and then of course Children of the Corn, both of which were based on his stories. Finally, no list of 1984 adaptations would be complete without The Never-Ending Story, based on the 1979 novel by Michael Ende. The movie saw a boost in 2019 when the theme song was used on Stranger Things, and there are plans for a remake.